Hey, this is Driver88. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Cupra Formentor. As you may have noticed, the small SUV segment is pretty much the most popular, and Cupra tells me this is the most popular model that they have coming out. It's pretty much replaced the family sedan, and I'm going to tell you a few reasons why. In this case, we have something that ticks a multiple round of boxes for the single, the couple, and the small family. We've got a bit of space, we've got decent performance, pretty good looks as well, in a very new brand. So please enjoy. Okay, so let's have a look at this interior of the Formentor. Now, I think this is a standout part of this car. The things that I really like are the ambient lighting and this petrol blue leather, which is in all the right places on the steering wheel, the well side bolstered seats, and the rear door cards here. Speaking of the rear, we have two Type-C ports here in air conditioning. We've got two Type-C ports at the front, as well as wireless charging. We've got wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. I would say the standard in here feels very much Audi, at least. What I really like about the leather-bound steering wheel is the size and feel. The paddles feel very much the same as Audi, Volkswagen, etc. But I like that you've got physical buttons that you have to push down, and you won't touch them accidentally like in some of the newer models of other VAG cars. The Beats audio, I don't think it's super clear, but it is quite nice and bassy. Everything in here feels really sturdy and solid quality. I really like the interior. Also, in this car, we've got the optional sunroof, and your 12-inch infotainment at the front is enormous. It's very clear, it's turned just the right amount of degrees towards the driver. I'm a big fan of it. Also, your central screen has lots of interesting viewpoints and very easy to use and get used to. So yeah, the interior I think is definitely a standout. The rear of the car, 450 litres, I think I'll have to check that again. The boot is bigger than I thought it would be. It fits at least 1.5 full-size suitcases. And the rear here, I'm 5'11", my head's not hitting the roof, and I think you've got ample knee room as well, as you can see in front of me. I do really like these quad-tipped twin exhaust on the back. I think it ties in quite well with the rest of the aesthetic of the Cupra. You'll also notice that there's no Formentor badge, pretty much no Leon badge on the other models as well. Just Cupra and then your VZ emblem on the end. Okay, let's talk performance of the Formentor VZX. EA888 2-litre turbo engine, very, very familiar driveline to that of many other Volkswagen Auto Group products. In this case, 228 kilowatts and 400 newton meters. 0 to 100 turns up in 4.9 seconds. We'll work out if that is the case later on in the vlog. One thing I will say about this engine configuration is though it seems to be a little bit quieter than most other models I've driven with this engine. I think an exhaust or tune may really help to bring out some character from this thing. Next up, I'm really keen to give this thing a drive because the start of next year, I'm probably looking at replacing my daily car, and given that this thing ticks so many boxes, as I said, from performance, space for the dogs and the groceries, and also say tunability and just, you know, the interior quality of this car I really think is up to that of Audi, etc. It's also got a larger infotainment screen than the T-Roc R. Let's take this thing for a drive. So let's put on some Cupra mode and stop annoying this local canine. You can hear that faux exhaust noise put into the cabin, which I'm not a big fan of. S mode, so we're in the most aggressive dampening, the most aggressive tune, and we've got 235s front and rear Bridgestone Potenzas. As I've said before, I can't say I'm too accustomed with those tires. It's a nice overcast day today. Ooh, listen to the pops and the bangs from the exhaust there. Responsiveness is quite nice. we've got a red line at like 6,500 RPM from the 2-litre turbo. I tell you, an Akrapovic exhaust would be quite nice, I think, to install as a catback on this car. One of the things that I've really noticed is there's a noticeable amount of body roll in the Formentor VZX, but it is certainly not overly done. I think it's going to be a good middle ground between using daily and the occasional sporty driving. I'm not sure about whether people would be taking this on track or not. The brake pedal feels a bit more progressive and nicer to modulate than the Leon Cupra that I drove. I'm not sure exactly why that is. This one has the stock brakes, so 340mm up front, and yeah, you can just hear this bit of a burble in the manual mode, in Cupra mode. We'll do a launch control in a little bit of a moment, but what I can tell you is driving this on the freeway has been really quiet, really reserved in the more mild modes. There's some nice little induction noises and turbo noises happening there. I can't say it's super exciting, but yeah, it sounds quite fruity. Certainly not a slow car, but it's not light either. So performance, 4.9 seconds 0 to 100. Let's see what we can match on a suitable piece of road. Very, very smooth shifts at redline in Cupra mode. It's just, everything's very, very smooth. I have noticed that these are 19-inch rims, and they handle the bumps and the undulations and all that sort of stuff really well considering the size. I'm quite happy with how this is damped. When you're cruising along on the freeway, if you're not in Cupra mode, there is a bit of a delay and a bit of a wait for that boost and that torque, all 400 Newton meters, to get behind you, but you're not going to have any issues if you just toggle down here into sport mode or tap a couple of times to drop a couple of gears. You'll be overtaking trucks on the freeway, etc. really, really easily. Brakes are nice and progressive, as I said. There's not a ton of steering feel up front, not a lot of steering feel, but you certainly have a lot of confidence when you're driving this car, no doubt. The turn in is quite quick. I mean, it turns in a little bit easier than I thought it would. I can't say it's massively exciting to drive though. It's definitely competent. It's a nice sporty place to sit, but it's not exciting me too much. Maybe a bit of a cheeky tune and a downpipe could completely change that, as people know who've been messing around with EA 888s for years and years now will tell you that they're enormously potent when you start putting mods on them. Not that I would advocate for every person to do that. Spun the tires a little bit there. That was much better. Took me a while to work that out. So the best I could manage was just a 4.9. I think if I tried it in a few more different conditions and had a bit more practice, I think I could probably beat that. The guys at Cupra tell me that this car will do 4.6 0 to 100, and I definitely think that it could do, particularly if you had some maybe Pilot Sport 4S's or something like that to hook up even better. So after spending a decent amount of time driving two Formentors in a number of different areas, I can say that this is really a great car that's going to tick a lot of boxes for a lot of people. I think it's a well-rounded thing, but for me, for my next daily, it just didn't excite me enough. It's kind of made me think that the Cupra Leon that we reviewed a couple of weeks ago may be the one. So let's talk about the price. Now, starting 67,000 Australian dollars on road, that is without the options. If you do tick the larger brakes, the matte paint, and the sunroof, you'll be getting reasonably over $70,000, which again is bang on as competitors. I think that also provides pretty decent value for money when you look at, say, a Golf R is now pushing $80,000 plus. So that is the Formentor review. Given that Cupra is a new brand to Australia, I'm really interested in all your opinions, honestly, because I want to know if this brand, what it's doing, is it going to pull you out of, say, a lower level Audi, a Volkswagen, maybe a BMW X1 or thereabouts. And so with that said, this is Driver 88. If you did enjoy this, please subscribe and like. It really does help us out. And thank you very much for watching.